Just simply pull it. No thoughts of bow, no thoughts of extra cup. You're just simply pulling on the cable. And as you're pulling on the cable, that left leg is working. Remember, now the handle is back underneath us, and now we're thinking about the track this handle is going to move on. That track of the handle moves back inside. If you've watched enough golf, many instructors will talk about loading the shoulders. Loading the shoulders is something that allows you to make the golf club move quickly in your downswing. Now we know that the leg action really has to fire, really has to move quickly, but how do we activate these shoulders? For many, thinking about the shoulders simply comes in not using the shoulder, not allowing the shoulder to come forwards. Well, today I'm going to nip down to the gym and share a few thoughts with you that might be able to give you a better visualization of how we load those shoulders. So we've come down into the gym and we've got the cable machine. As far as I'm concerned, if we start treating this golf club like a heavy weight, we will forever move forwards with much better form and function. The minute the golf club gets too light, it's so easy for us to overpower it. And as soon as you start overpowering the golf club, invariably you are going to make some inferior moves that ultimately, down through strike, you are really going to battle with contact and speed. So we've got the cable. The cable represents the golf club, of course, and we've even managed to get a little golf club to attach to the cable machine here, just to give it the true golfing feel. I'm going to turn and face it, grip the golf club, and pull the cable in front of me. Now, I'm sure there's enough of you out there that go to the gym, and I'm sure there's a few of you that don't. You can simulate this sensation with the TheraBand hooked up to your door. Hook it over the door, close it, and you're good to go. Therefore, we now want to go up to setup. Now, when I'm in setup, what I'm starting to feel is this cable machine trying to pull me into my heels. Now, of course, the golf club at address doesn't actually do that, but it's a great reminder of how to get more pressure into the heels at address and get this TheraBand underneath our chest here. Now I'm going to make a backswing, and as I go to the top, if you have enough weight in the TheraBand, in the cable machine, what you'll feel at this point in the swing is the cable, the TheraBand, trying to pull you away from the golf ball. Again, this really helps you with trying to change the dynamics of moving through your feet. That's going to be a reaction to what's going on with your upper body. Remember, the golf club is an incredibly light object when it's moving slowly. I've now made this golf club dynamically much heavier from the get-go. So now at the top, we're actually feeling what the golf club's weight will be like down at impact. I get myself set. So now I've got the cable in my hands loaded, ready to go. I've got force and pressure in my left foot. I've got a hip that's turned back. And now at this point, I've got some options. I can pull the cable down. I can pull the cable forwards. Let's go with the latter. Let's pull that cable forwards and let's start to feel how the synergy of pulling the handle forwards and the pushing back of my left foot, the pushing back of the pressure from my toe to my heel, the lengthening of my leg now starts to pull the handle out. Now at this point, we then really start to feel the importance of feeling forward bend through strike to then allow this handle to be pulled and moved through strike. Now remember, this golf club has swing in it. This exercise has absolutely no swing. So the only thing this exercise is giving you is a sensation of how to pull, which starts to load the levers. So if you are someone that casts the golf club, you're going to really feel this really difficult on your wrist angles, which might give you some problems, or you can lighten up your wrist angles and just simply pull it. No thoughts of bow, no thoughts of extra cup. You're just simply pulling on the cable. And as you're pulling on the cable, that left leg is working. Remember, now the handle is back underneath us, and now we're thinking about the track this handle is going to move on. That track of the handle moves back inside. All of the time I'm making that move, I'm actually able to start to feel the direction the handle moves in as I go. So I now take the implement off the cable machine, go up to the top, now I'm going to pull. There's the handle now moving back underneath me, and there's that swing down at the bottom of the golf ball. So there's the swing, there's the rotation. Now you can start to see the track the handle is moving in. The handle is moving around the corner. The handle is moving around the corner, but the club head is arcing out in front. I'm going to nip back upstairs. I'm going to start to deliver that on the mat and really start to tie that in with a golf shot. We've come back up to the studio and on the mat with the golf club in hand. Now you have seen me in the studio there moving the cable down, which, because the cable is attached to the unit, you can appreciate that that really starts to allow the load of these angles in here to occur in the downswing. Now, of course, the more that angle is in or present in your downswing, the more downstrike you will create as a golfer. The angle of attack is 5.9 down. The club path in that swing was outside in 8.7. The reason why it was outside in 8.7 is because the face was open to the path. As soon as you have a face that's open to the path, a golfer will find a way of getting the path outside in to offset the face pointing to the right, the fade, the slice. So therefore we must understand that the harder we load the golf club in our downswing, the harder we pull on that cable, the more chance, if you've got a light grip, the more chance you have of creating angle between the arms and the club shaft. And that angle ultimately is energy. Because if you could, and you really probably can't, get the handle to the ball and you had a club head touching your shoulder, the radius that that club head has to swing to get back to the golf ball is extreme at a moment's notice. And that would equate to swing compared to the golfer that has the handle down by the golf ball. With the club head very close to the ball, you can see the radius and the gap that that club has to move is now much less. So when we're pulling on the golf club, the arms at which they load and they pull really sets the angle that you're looking to use in your downswing. Now we need two things in place. First of all, we need a club face that is going to come back to the golf ball, either straight or lined up left of the path. Face to path value negative, 4 degrees. That meant that the club face came back to the ball, pointing left of the path, so the ball bent to the left. That's number one. That is an absolute essential ingredient to making this pull of the golf club work for you. There's two ways you can make that happen. One, you can have yourself a decent grip. A decent grip is going to give you the opportunity, without having to corrupt wrist angles, is going to give you a possibility of making that club face come back some sort of closed to your path. Now, the more it's closed to your path, the more you'll be able to feel that that face is going to point to the left, and at that point there, a golfer will feel comfortable about approaching the ball from the inside because the ball is going to bend to the left. So that's number one. You absolutely need a face pointing left of the path. And you do that via a good grip. The second ingredient that is really, really important is that after you've loaded the golf club with the cable, as you've loaded it with the cable, what you now need is this braking phase where the club can now swing. Because what you can't do, and what the cable facilitates, is the ability to keep pulling the cable. And you can see when I'm pulling the cable was still loaded. And of course at this point, that face is pointing off to the right. And of course we couldn't hit the golf ball like that because we would have to get so low down to the ball to get it. And we obviously would have no power because we've got no unload of the club head. And so the second ingredient of this motion of pulling the club is the swing phase. And that swing phase is the braking mechanism of the handle. Now, if you've got a grip that's on the weak side and you have a golf shot that tends to hit the ball out to the right, what you'll be doing in your golf swing is always trying to get the club head back to the ball in an effort to square the club face up. And what that does is it makes grips quite tight, quite wooden. And so unless you have a club face, or a grip, shall I say, that's strong enough to get the face lined up, it's only then that really you'll start to be able to get this braking phase with the handle to make the club head swing. Because this braking phase, brake, swing phase in the golf swing, is the moment that the head weight overpowers the grip pressure. And when it overpowers the grip pressure, that's when you'll start to feel the lever unload. And now you'll see that the face to path value will continually start to come back pointing left of the path, the negative value. And as I'm making it swing more and more, the more the club head is passing the handle and is making my angle of attack lighter. So as I keep on making the club head swing more, my angle of attack goes down and the club face starts to point more left. Which is great for a driver, of course not great for an iron. But of course, when you're hitting an iron, we now can therefore appreciate that I don't want as much brake phase in an iron shot as I do with a driver. So there's more of the brake phase with an iron. There is more of the brake phase with a driver. So we've got different levers doing different things. We've got a lever with the driver, we've got a lever with the iron. So to make the pull phase work, to allow the swing phase to occur, you have to load it in the first place, which is why this video on getting down in the gym and using the cable machine to start pulling on the club and activating your leg action is crucial to feeling like you can pull and swing. Pull and swing. And when you feel those two mechanisms in place, when you go to the gym and you start to make that pull phase occur on the gym unit, the more you pull, the more the club head will sit from the inside, and therefore the more you can arc the handle in to make your path line swing from inside to inside, rather than feeling like you have to swing the handle in to out to make your path line correct. If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. A lot here. And for those of you that are watching my video for the first time, you might want to go back and check out my broom series, because that will really give you an idea of where I'm coming from. This is as much educational as it is quick tip. Understand this game for what it is and you will play the best golf of your life. For those of you that might want to get a lesson from me, you can check me out on Skillist. I do remote coaching on there. You can find a link for that in the description below. But hopefully there's been some insight there that's going to allow you to move the handle in a different way, start to fire up your leg action in a different manner that will really start to get the top and the bottom of your golf swing to talk to each other and deliver a straight club face with some power and energy. Thank you so much for watching. Do consider subscribing while you're here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. That, my friends, is good coaching.